How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to TSTV for the match review of Chelsea 1, Copenhagen 0. And I am not going to spend a lot of time analysing this game because, let's be honest, it was absolutely dreadful. It was an awful game of football. I mean, the first half, Chelsea didn't even have a shot. Can't remember the last time Chelsea didn't even have a single shot on goal in the first half of the game, particularly at home. It must have been a very long time, if ever. And it was just really, really laborious, slow. There was no real intensity. Second half was obviously a little bit better. We brought Cole Palmer on and Cucurella on, and the intensity was a little bit better. We did what we needed to do. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, who obviously has come in for a lot of criticism since he signed, I still think a lot of that is justified because, let's be honest, he is not up to Chelsea's level. But he scored a good goal, good finish. But apart from that, really absolutely nothing to write home about. It was a poor performance. Copenhagen didn't really bring that much to the party. I thought they looked quite bright early on, but they kind of looked like they gave up the ghost, and they do have a lack of quality at the top end of the pitch. So we never really looked in that much danger. They had a couple of openings where they got through down the side of us. And yeah, it was just one of those games we had to get through. We got the job done. I mean, the performance was, again, pretty uninspiring, and so I'm not going to go into this game too much because there's really nothing I can take away from it properly. The one thing that I do want to kind of discuss, and I'll segue this into the Arsenal preview, because I'm just going to do the Arsenal preview in this video as well, because it seems really, really pointless to do two separate videos today because, as mentioned, the game was really, really uneventful. The style of football we're playing is coming in for a lot of criticism right now, and I get that. You know, I don't particularly like watching football which is very slow, passing it round the back, no tempo to it. It does look a lot of the time like we don't kind of know how to attack unless opposition kind of come onto us and we counter-attack. And that isn't really in the Maresca playbook. That's kind of players playing off instinct. But obviously I've backed Maresca more than a lot of people, and I'm still going to continue to do that for now. But the performances have to improve because there's no way we can go to Arsenal on Sunday, even though Arsenal have not been pulling up any trees themselves recently, other than that kind of 7-1 game against PSV, which seems like a bit of an anomaly right now for them. There's no way we can kind of go there and play like we have been and hope to get a result. There's just absolutely no chance. So performance levels need to improve. Now, in terms of possession-based football, that's fine. You can play it. You know, I'm happy to give it an opportunity to grow and develop. A lot of Chelsea fans don't like that style of football, and I'm kind of in that camp. But if you're going to play it, then you need to play at a high tempo. You need to play with intensity. And we're just not seeing that consistently enough at the moment. And the start of the second half yesterday, we saw it for kind of 10, 15 minutes until we got the goal. And then it kind of just petered out the game, really. The performance levels must improve against Arsenal, and it must improve in the tough games we've got coming up. We've still got to play Tottenham, we've still got to play Man United, we've still got to play Liverpool, Newcastle, Brentford and Fulham away, which won't be easy games. So we need to see some upturn in how we're playing. And I hope on Sunday, a big game away from home against one of our biggest rivals, that will happen. Now, I can't say I'm convinced at this moment in time because it's form's very hard to kind of turn it on and off with a tap. I guess the positives that you would look at recently is we won 4 games in a row, we've kept 3 clean sheets in that time. But again, we've come up against very limited opposition, so it's quite hard to know how we will go into the Arsenal game, being able to really take the game to them at the Emirates. Obviously, the last couple of times we've played at the Emirates have been absolute embarrassments. I was there, I think, a couple of years ago when we lost 3-1 and we were 3-0 down after about half an hour. I think I left at half-time. It was just absolutely abysmal. I think that was under Lampard when he had his caretaker stint. And then obviously last year we lose 5-0. Again, which was just absolutely embarrassing, really. We can't go there and deliver another similar performance, particularly as Arsenal kind of have some of their own issues. They've still got a good defence, a good goalkeeper, a good midfield, but they're struggling to score goals right now. So this really should not be a game where they blow us away. And if they do, then that is a massive red flag because recently I have been really struggling to score goals. So the worst case scenario is that we should always be in the game on Sunday, because we should not be losing this game 3-1 or 5-0 like we have in the past couple of years. So I really hope that we do get a performance. Again, it's a massive game, and I'm hoping that players will step up. Now, I'm going to get into my predicted lineup for the game against Arsenal now. So in goal, I think it will be Robert Sanchez. As mentioned in my last video before the Copenhagen game, I have no idea what's going on with the goalkeeper situation right now, but I can only assume that Jorgensen started yesterday. That means Sanchez will start on Sunday, but Who knows? I mean, it's a toss of a coin, really. I'd prefer Jorgensen, but, it is what it is, really, at this point with the goalkeeping situation. So I think it will be Sanchez in goal. At right back, I'm going to go with Reece James. Now, I think Reece obviously came on for the last few minutes yesterday, and he was being saved for this game, I believe. I think he should play right back. He's able to, do the inverted stuff as well. So I think we need Reece James's leadership, because I think his leadership skills have improved this season. He has stayed fit for a little bit of time now. Obviously, I know he was ill for the Leicester game, but that kind of doesn't really count. People get colds and flus and whatever. But so yeah, Reece needs to start at right back. Centre of defence, Wesley Fofana. Now, I thought Wes was really, really good when he came back against Leicester last week. This is obviously be a much tougher test, but I think his pace and his physicality and his ability to drive forward with the ball and be very front foot and very aggressive really, really will help us. And I think it helps Levi Colwill as well. And I expect to see Levi Colwill next to him. They started to form a nice little partnership before Fofana got injured. And I don't think it's any coincidence Levi's really, really struggled since then. So hopefully we can start to see the green shoots of that again. So I will go with them as the centre-back partnerships. Left back, very, very simple. Marc Cucurella, again, came on and, really upped the intensity yesterday. He's been one of our best players of the season. So that is very, very simple. Now, midfield, it's interesting. So obviously I've got to think about what Maresca might do, but also what I might do. So I'd be tempted in this game to play Romeo Lavia, because I think the midfield battle is where it could be won and lost. Now, Arsenal do have a strong midfield. They're probably going to go with Declan Rice, Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. So we need to make sure that we get control of the midfield. And the last couple of times we've been at the Emirates, we've absolutely, completely lost that battle. I think last year it was Enzo and Caicedo in the middle, and they really, really struggled together. So I would play Romeo Lavia in this game. He obviously has been on the bench last week, and Maresca kind of showed with Fofana the previous week, just because you didn't get on doesn't mean that you're not going to play. So I would play Romeo Lavia in this game, at least for the first maybe hour, and then maybe you can bring Reece James into the middle or move Enzo Fernandez back. And obviously next to him will be Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo is probably our most important player. We cannot do without him. He's obviously one booking away from missing 2 games, which I believe would be Tottenham and Brentford if he were to get a yellow card here. So really, really hope he doesn't get booked, but he's absolutely a must in this game. And I'm really relieved that he came through that Leicester game unscathed, because it would have been a disaster, frankly, if he wasn't fit for this. Then on the right, I am going to go with Cole Palmer. Now, I'm thinking almost like a similar position where he played against Aston Villa, where he was obviously on the right, but he was kind of coming inside a little bit, and it meant that a fullback can overlap. Now, that probably won't be Reece James, so maybe I'm wrong here, but I would like to see Cole Palmer on that right-hand side, and that means that we can then get Enzo Fernandez kind of in that number 10 spot, where I think he's done really, really well this season. He was great recently against Aston Villa, and I think against Southampton when he played in there. And obviously he can have license to kind of move back and help out Villa and Caicedo, because I think it's really, really important that at least for the first hour in this game, we're in the game and we're kind of competing in the middle of the pitch. And then maybe later on in the game, you can maybe introduce some more attacking options. On the left, now, I would personally go with Tyreek George. I think he deserves to start. He's been one of our few bright sparks recently, and he's certainly in better form than Christopher Nkunku and Jadon Sancho. But I believe Maresca will go with probably Nkunku here. A similar kind of lineup, how he went with Aston Villa. Again, let's see what happens. He's been in very, very poor form. He came on yesterday, didn't really impact the game at all. Kind of needs must at this moment in time. Maresca has said that Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson should be back after the international break, and that will be a massive boost to us. And hopefully then we can really start firing on all cylinders, because at the moment, none of our attacking players are at all. Tyreek George has been our best attacking player along with Pedro Neto recently. Yeah, I think he will go with Nkunku. I'd like to see Tyreek out there. I definitely don't want to see Jadon Sancho out there at this moment in time, because he's been in really, really poor form. But I think it will be Christopher Nkunku. And then up front, again, pretty simple. Pedro Neto didn't really get a lot of service. Didn't really get a lot of service against Leicester, but he is our only real option up there right now. He does work hard, he does chase opponents, and Arsenal aren't going to come and completely sit back. They are going to play quite high and have their defence on the halfway line, and that may give Neto opportunities to run in behind. So that's what I would go with, and that's what I think Maresca may well go with. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think it's a strong enough lineup to compete, and I think a draw going to the Emirates would be a really, really good result. We've obviously got some games on the horizon. I think it's Tottenham, Brentford, Ipswich. Now, they're not easy games, definitely, but they're winnable, right? So if we get a point here, we've obviously got 6 from Southampton and Leicester. That's not a bad way to go into the international break, having got 7 points out of 9, getting a really tough away game out of the way. But it's really hard to make a case with the way we're playing that we are going to go there and get a result at this moment in time. I really hope the team surprise me. I hope that we can turn up, put in a really, really good performance, full of intensity, full of passion, full of vigour, passing with tempo, being aggressive on the front foot. But it's really hard to kind of see that at this moment in time. So in terms of my match prediction, I'm going to go for Arsenal to Chelsea 0. Now, I want to be more positive. I want to sit there and say we're going to get a point or win the game, but I've got to be very, very objective when I'm giving these predictions. I don't want to kind of be one of these fans that say, oh, we're going to win every game 4-0. Wish I could be like that, but I prefer to give my honest opinion and my objective opinion. And I just think that with the way we're playing at the moment, I struggle to see how we're going to go there and get a result. I think Arsenal, they're in that mode at the moment where I think they'll probably do just about enough to win the game. They've obviously got very few attacking options, but they're good at set pieces. They do have players like Declan Rice who can occasionally pop up with a goal. Yeah, I've not got the most confidence going into this. I've not got the most positive feeling, but hopefully the team proved me wrong. Hopefully we can get a performance and a result of some description, and we can go into the international break really, really confident of hopefully securing that top 4 or top 5 finish. So yeah, that's my predicted lineup, guys. That's my prediction for the Arsenal game, and also my very, very short match review for Copenhagen, because quite frankly, it was rubbish. So I didn't want to talk about it for too long and bore you all to death. So yeah, I'll see you very soon. And yeah, hopefully we are toasting a good result come Sunday afternoon.